All right, so I want to welcome you guys to our first sergeant's time training. Today we're going to discuss Chapter 33 post 9/11 benefits. A lot of questions that our students do ask us. So we decided to create this event to inform you guys. That way, not only to inform yourselves, but also your peers if they have any questions or concerns. Okay, so we'll get started with introductions. So our school certifying officials are Mylene Tenorio, Danny Villanueva, and Paul Lazaro. Okay, so these guys, they basically process your benefits, your Chapter 33 benefits. Okay, I'm the program coordinator. I'm Louis Valderrama. Basically, what my role is bring these events for you guys. In order to inform or assist you in your academic career, but also help you process any benefits that you're entitled to. So you can find us in Conklin Room Hall 213 and 214. This is my number, so if you want to reach someone immediately, this is the number that you want to call first, and then you can reach out to Paul. What I would recommend is emailing us at veteranaffairs@newark.rutgers.edu, only because Paul and I will be able to answer it immediately. If Paul isn't able to answer, then I myself will take care of the situation. If you email Paul, chances are he might be busy. You're not going to get a faster response that way. So always email veteranaffairs@newark.rutgers.edu.
We both have access to that email anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so now to get started. Who's eligible for Chapter 33 benefit? Well, you have to at least serve 90 days on active duty, receive the Purple Heart, and were honorably discharged. You serve for at least 30 continuous days and were honorably discharged with a service-connected disability. You're a dependent child using benefits transferred by a qualifying veteran or service member. This has to be on or after September 11th, 2001. Okay, guys? If you're reserved and you did 90 days on active duty, and it doesn't have to be all together, it can be separated. So let's say you did 30 days, for one deployment, and then you did 30 on a later date, that all adds up. But once you have 90 days, you're actually eligible for that.
So just to sort of expand on this for reservist and guard, like LeVar, I'm going to use you as an example. LeVar is a reservist, Army reservist. He was using Chapter 1606 in Montgomery Jail so that reserve before deployed. He was on active duty orders, which is what's called Title 10. He accumulated active duty time. He can now choose to switch over to the post 9/11 GI. Okay. A lot of our guard students, Army and Air, have been activated over the past, since the pandemic started, in different missions around the state. As long as they were on Title 10 orders and they were earning federal active duty time, they become eligible for post 9/11 GI. Okay. So if you were active duty, it's pretty cut and dry. But if you were guard or reserve, make sure you looked at the kind of activation that you had. Any questions, check with us, and then we'll help you figure it out. But they have expanded eligibility to National Guard soldiers and airmen activated on state for state duty, like vaccination sites, in support of COVID-19, Homeland Security missions. Some folks went down to DC after January 6th. So all these count as active.
That's next. So how do I apply for my benefits? This is one of the first questions I get from any students. Easily you'll go to va.gov/education/how to apply. Okay. If you guys overlook this information, always shoot us an email for the website on how to apply. Okay. Also the VA website tells you who is eligible and also gives you an overview of what we're discussing today. Okay. So following that, when you scroll down, you'll see the captions, how do I apply? You find your education benefits form, and then From there, you go check the boxes that applies to you, okay? Things that you have to make sure to have before you apply for your benefits. So the first is your up-to-date or current ED 214. So basically, details all your military history, your start and end date, and you're in your service. Usually, we recommend that you upload your member 4 copy. However, we are aware that certain National Guard and Reserve members do not get a member 4 copy, rather a member 2 copy, but that's also viable. So make sure you have your social security number, a bank account, direct deposit information, only because with the post 9/11, they do give you your monthly housing allowance and book stipend. So they need a way to send you the allotted money towards your account. And lastly, your education history, if any. For example, in my case, I've used the post 9/11 bill, and I had to include my my undergraduate degree and also my associate's degree from a community college. Paul, do you have anything to add?
If you don't have your DD 214, if you're National Guard and all you have is an NGB 22 form, or if you didn't receive one when you got out of AIT, or whatever the case might be, got back from your deployment, you haven't got your DD 214 yet, or if you're active duty, maybe you're on terminal leave and you haven't got your DD 214 yet, which does happen quite often, just know your dates of enlistment and your dates, your ETS date, because that's the bare minimum they're going to need. In a pinch, DA will access your DoD records, your 2-1, and they'll pull up that information. If you can provide it, it's still going to take roughly 30 days to process anyway, but it does make it a little easier. But just at least know your entry and exit dates for service. Bank account information, direct deposit is preferred. VA does have a program where they'll send you a debit card that your whatever payments they issue to you, your book stipend, your housing allowance, if you're service connected for disability, those payments will upload to this debit card. You can opt for that as well. But most folks don't do that. Most folks prefer direct deposit information. So just have your account number, routing number on hand when you apply.
Thank you, Paul. So what happens after you apply? The VA usually sends you a confirmation email. Initially, we tell students to upload this document only because their certificate of eligibility can take anywhere up to 4 to 6 weeks to arrive in the mail. So a lot of people do ask me, well, how does this certificate of eligibility look like? So it kind of looks like this. However, because of the pandemic, a lot of students have received either a letter or an email. But usually, I want to say at least 80% of the certificates look like this example that I'm showing you guys, okay? With the certificate of eligibility, they'll give you the amount of months of your benefits that remain. Obviously, after every semester, they'll send you a new certificate of eligibility to update you how many months you have left for your education, okay? Right here on the bottom, very important, it tells you if you're entitled to receive a certain percentage, depending on how long you served on active duty. In this case, this individual is entitled to 40% of benefits, so it'll pay 40% of the tuition and fees, and then the student is required to pay the rest of the tuition and fees, unless they use any other form of VA educational benefits. Okay. Obviously, begin and end date is their time in service, and it tells you how long they served. Paul, do you want to add anything with the certificate?
So we need your COE. We love that. So we need your COE, but as a caveat to that, if you just applied and you want to get your benefits started and you don't want to wait the 30 days maximum for this to arrive, when you get to the end of the application, va.gov, screenshot that confirmation page and upload that to Vetcert. Louis is going to go over Vetcert in a minute.
Yeah.
But upload that in the meanwhile while you're waiting on your certificate. Because at least then we have proof that you've applied for the benefit, and you're just waiting on VA's response. If you already have a certificate of eligibility, but lost it, you misplaced it, you can't find it, whatever the case may be, go back into va.gov, check the status of your education benefits. You can print out what's called a statement of benefits. You can print it out, you can screenshot it, whatever's easier. And that will give you this information just in a slightly different format. We can work with that as well because it has your eligibility percentage, it has your months remaining, it has your personal identifiable information on there. We can use that as well. So if you do lose this for some reason, don't panic. Go back into va.gov, get the statement of benefits. We'll work with that. And as Louis said, during the pandemic, we saw that some folks were receiving an email. Just forward us that. See if you can screenshot that email or turn it into a PDF that's smaller than 4 megabytes and get that up into Vetcert because it has all the same information. For some reason, VA just decided to email it to certain veterans. We don't know why. It's been here and there. It's been happening, maybe a handful. For whatever reason, that's been the case. So we just need proof of eligibility.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, so the next thing that I discussed was your DD 214 member 4 copy. How do you know it's a member 4 copy? Well, on the right-hand side, on the lower right-hand side, it'll say member 4 or member 2 for National Guard and Reserve members. On the left-hand side, make sure it says DD form 214, and it'll give you the current date on when you receive the document. Okay. Again, like Paul discussed, make sure that these files that you upload onto Vetcert are less than 4 megabytes. We had a lot of issues with students not being able to upload the documents, and then we find out that it's because the documents were larger than 4 megabytes, and the computer, and I guess the system wasn't able to process them.
Danny, so students can upload PDF, JPEG, and what other file type to Vetcert?
I think there's there's another image file that can be uploaded.
Okay, so they could also take a picture of it. It doesn't have to necessarily be a PDF.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Danny. Okay, so where do I upload these documents? I know on your certificate of eligibility, it says, please bring this to the your school's certifying official. Well, luckily with Rutgers, we have an online system where you can upload these documents. And I want to say it's pretty awesome because I also come from the previous school where all the documents, we didn't have a system for it. It was basically folders. We had folders and we kept all of these folders organized in a cabinet. That kind of creates a mess. Papers can get lost. So this is a sure way that you don't lose any of your documents, okay? How do I find Vetcert? That's another question I always get from students. Simple. Go to Google, type in Rutgers-Newark Vetcert. It's literally the first link. When you click on the link, it'll say My Vetcert. Click on My Vetcert. Okay?
And then bookmark it.
And bookmark it, most important. Okay? And it'll bring you to this lovely website. From there, you'll be able to request enrollment certification, create your profile. So that's very important to create your profile because this is a way we can contact you if we have any issues or concerns. You want to include the email that you use the most, your daytime or evening phone number. What else am I missing? And current address, just in case. Yeah, current address, just in case we need to send anything to your mail. Third, my request. So you can check the updates on your enrollment certification process. And then lastly, my supporting documents. And this is where you're going to upload your documents. And this one we'll discuss next.
Okay, go back for a second.
Yeah, not a problem.
So yeah, what Louis says about the profile is important, especially the contact info, because like if Danny or Mylene or myself have to reach out to you in regards to your enrollment certification or your documents, we already have your Scarlet Mail address. But if there's another email address that maybe you have Scarlet Mail forwarded to, give us that in your profile so we can reach out to you just in case. Scarlet Mail is not going through for some reason, it crashes or whatever, you don't check it. Give us another email address and give us a reliable phone number. So something happens, we want to get a hold of you as quickly as possible and resolve the issues so you get paid. So having up-to-date contact information helps. And then also pay attention. So since we're covering post 9/11 GI Bill today, we'll worry about VRE another day. Health insurance, the student health insurance. Post 9/11 GI Bill will pay for your student health insurance premium. So if you opt into it, just keep in mind, VA covers it because it's already tacked onto term bill. VA pays that. All right. It's different for VRE. We'll get into that another time, but whether you choose to keep it or not, just know that post 9/11 will pay. All right. And then if you scroll down further, you'll have Office of the Registrar contact information for each campus, Brunswick, Newark, and Camden. If you ever forget how to get a hold of us, scroll down and you'll find Newark's.
Thank you, Paul. So once you obtain your documents, you're going to want to go on the right-hand side where it says My Supporting Documents. And where you upload will be right here. Choose File and Upload. But before you upload, make sure that the document type over here says Certificate of Eligibility, chapters 33, 35. A lot of students do mistake the document type, and then they get certified for the wrong benefit. That's when issues start happening. Okay, so once you upload, you'll get a box here telling you the upload date, modified date if we get or I or certifying officials I made any changes to it. Let's say if you do upload the wrong document, too easy on the right hand side, you just delete it. Okay. Again, that's how it will look after you upload both your certificate of eligibility and separation of service E214 document.
What Louis just mentioned about making sure you have the right document for the benefit that you're using. So when Danny and Mylene, for the primary school certifying officials for processing this, when they go through these, if there's a mix-up, like maybe you selected chapter 1606, but you requested chapter 33, we're not quite sure what the issue is. So that's going to delay the processing of your certification. We'll put it to the side for a minute, and then we'll come back to it. So make sure that it matches up. If you're going to be using post 9/11 GI Bill, make sure this says COE chapter 33, and then make sure your request matches. Okay, we've had students who upload a COE for post 9/11 GI Bill, and then they're requesting tuition assistance. And then we're like, okay, you requested tuition assistance, but we have post 9/11. We're not going to assume for you. We don't want to mess up because then payments get made and money has to be returned. That's a whole big mess. So if there's any kind of a discrepancy, we're going to reach out to you. So just make sure everything matches up to make it a little easier on the processing side, so we can get through the enrollment certifications. And then Louis is going to talk about the requesting, making sure that it matches.
Okay, so after you uploaded your documents, I notify the certifying officials, basically to tell them like, yep, the documents are good to go. It's the right document type. Code them in the system. So once you code it in the system, you're gonna have to wait 24 hours to request enrollment certification. Okay. After those 24 hours, when you on the left hand side, you'll see request enrollment certification. Click on that, and then this page will pop up. Okay. Make sure you either select federal GI Bill, or if you're in the National Guard or Reserve, you can both use your GI Bill, National Guard tuition waiver, or tuition assistance. All right. Most importantly, this is how you know that you're coded in the system. This is how you would know that you were coded in the system when you uploaded your documents. So when you select a term, right, the examples will fall under fall 2021, winter 2022, and spring. All right. If you don't see that when you request enrollment certification, contact us immediately. That way, we can resolve the issue. It's a simple fix, really, and we'll just go from there. Other than that, Paul, you have some addition.
Yeah. So once your electronic student record is coded, that's when terms become available in that drop down. We get dozens of notifications from Vetcert. So you upload your documents, all 4 of us get notifications in our inbox that your RUID has uploaded XYZ document. Dozens of those come in every day. We do miss some every now and then. So if 24 hours have passed and you don't have any semesters in the drop-down menu, shoot us a quick email. Hey, I uploaded my document yesterday. I can request formal certification. We'll go in, we'll make sure that we coded you. If we missed it, we apologize. And then the following day, you'll be able to request formal certification. So just keep on top of us because stuff does slip by us. Louis and I are dedicated in our roles, but our 2 primary school certifying officials, Danny and Mylene, school certifying official is not their first act. It's their second responsibility. So they might be working on another project in the registrar. They might be doing something else for associate registrar or transcript duties. So just keep on top of us sometimes. It's usually like Louis says.
So what's next? What happens afterwards? You requested enrollment certification. So one of the first steps is that we actually create on your student profiles through VA once. It's a system by the VA to keep track of all the students that we certify. Okay. I'm not going to go fully into detail because there's a lot, but just know that this is where your profile is created, and then we can check to see if you've been certified or where the process is with your certification.
So VA once, creating your student profile is something we only have to do one time. When you first use your GI Bill here, that's when we create your profile. Just like with Vetcert, we only have to code your student record once, unless your GI Bill chapter changes or you run out of benefits, or you add another benefit on. We only have to do this once, and like Louis says, it can be pretty time consuming because we have to look you up in the Rutgers system, into the VA system, make sure everything matches up. Once we've created your profile, every other semester going forward, you don't have to code your student record. This profile is already created. We just go right in, and we transpose enrollment information, fall 2021, 13 credits, $8,000. Boom. Put it in. But this is what gets you guys paid. It's slow, it crashes, it's archaic, it's a government system. So yeah, we struggle with this almost every day. If there are any issues, let us know you're not getting paid or something, because this is where we go to see what was reported to VA. And that's when we can see, okay, we got Lavore for 13 credits, we got an $8,500 bill, we reported it on September 1st. And that's all that we can see. We can't go any further than this. So if we can't answer your question based on what's in VA once, GI Bill hotline. That's where you guys have to go, because we can only look into so much information. We can't delve into VA's system.
And I just want to add that, let's say if everything's correct here, and there's still an issue with student accounting, because some students have received some issues with that regarding a late term bill or overdue bill. Usually we can see that through Vetcert. We can see the amount that was reported to the VA. So sometimes student accounting does overlook that for whatever reason it may be. Again, just give us an email and then we'll reach out to student accounting. We have a really close relationship with them, and they're pretty on top of fixing those issues when it comes to any problems VA related tuition. So next slide. All right. So now this is something that all but more the certifying officials check out. So WEAMS is basically the VA's catalog on what schools and programs that Chapter 33 will cover. Okay. A lot of students do ask me, "Oh, will Chapter 33 cover my my master's in public administration program?" Okay. The number one concern that I got from students is, does Chapter 33 pay for a master's or doctoral program? It's too easy. You can just go on WEAMS, search it on Google, go on the website, make sure you're clicking on Rutgers-Newark, not Rutgers. Because you're coming to
Yeah,
Rutgers.
has to look just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
All capital letters.
Yeah, all capital letters. Obviously, they'll give you the physical address, make sure that you're clicking on the right university, mailing address, and even phone numbers, in case you need to contact someone. So then on the right-hand side, you can click on programs. And you'll get a drop-down menu of all the majors alphabetically, what chapter 33 will pick. Okay, again, chapter 33 does pay for your master's degree. I've had a lot of students come to my office not knowing that it not only paid for their undergraduate, but also their graduate.
Yep, the post 9/11 GIACA will pay for any degree that you want to pursue as long as you have entitlement left. You might be able to start a master's degree, but maybe you can't finish it. You might be able to start a doctoral degree, but maybe you can't finish it, but it will pay for at least a portion. We've had issues, and Danny and Mylene can go into a little more detail if you speak to them, but we've had students who enroll in a program and it's not on this list. So if you're coming in new, or maybe you're thinking about sticking around for your master's, you're finishing up your undergrad, check this list first, check with us, because if the program is not on this list, VA will not pay for it until it gets approved. That approval process, we had a student that it took over a year. She was backdated over 2 semesters to get herself paid for a master's program. So check with us before, just to make sure. And if it's far enough ahead of time, maybe we can get it approved by the time you start that program. But if it's not on here, he's not going to pay.
But the GI Bill has a cap for how much it'll pay for a master's program, right? No?
No,
There's a cap on how much tuition and fees they'll pay per year at a public institution. And that cap is based on the most expensive public institution in the state, which is Rutgers. So I think the cap is like almost 18,000 or something like that, or like 17,900. So basically, it's going to cover your entire year here because we're the most expensive public institution. Private is a whole different animal. But yeah, there is a cap on tuition and fees for a program, grad or undergrad. But we're at.
Will post 9/11 cover double majors as well?
yep,
As long as both majors are approved.
Even if I know there's like, I don't know how Rutgers is, but like accelerated programs while you're pursuing a bachelor's and master's at the same time.
Yeah, like the 5-year program.
So would you have to apply for that program too on the VA or?
No, they're included in here. They're included in our list of programs. This comes from the college catalog. That's where we get these programs from. We submit our college catalog to get approved because there's certain criteria that it has to be. But yeah, the 5-year programs like the accelerated nursing, accelerated social work has a program. Those are
on 5-year program, the county.
yeah, the Macy, yeah. Yep, those are
yeah, even the MPA program, like
yeah, the
solid.
executive MBA, IE those programs.
So we'll move on to the next slide. So what other benefits can they get through post 9/11? And I'm going to discuss these very. So I'm going to start with monthly housing allowance, only because a lot of students say, "Oh, why haven't I got paid on the 1st of September?" It doesn't work like that. So the way your monthly housing allowance works is you have to complete your first full month of your selected term. So let's say fall 2021, you have to complete the 1st of September through the end of September, and then you'll get paid on October 1st. Okay. I know right now the way monthly housing allowance works is it's based on where you go in the institution. Okay. So if you're coming into Rutgers-Newark, I believe the monthly housing allowance is 3,000 right now. The 3,800?
3,000.
2,800. Okay, so it's 2,000.
If you're full-time
You're full time.
and you're 100% your post 9/11, yeah, the number that take is.
Yeah, so it's 2,800. But again, if you're going part-time, that number is gonna be lower. If you're at 50%,
So, yeah, so
Yeah.
monthly housing allowance can be kind of tricky.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want to be full-time because you want to get paid as much in your pocket as possible by the housing. Housing allowance can be affected by what's called your rate of pursuit. So what percentage of full-time are you? If you're an undergrad, across the board, 12 credits is full-time. If you're in a grad program, I'll use Lewis as an example, in his MPA program, the School of Public Affairs Administration says 9 credits for grad students full-time. You go to the business school says 12 credits is full-time for grad students. So make sure that you're on the same page as your school with the master's program as to what full-time is, if you want to maximize your MHA. Where you physically attend school also affects housing allowance. So we have some programs that are offered here in Brunswick, here in Camden, here in Scotch Plains, Mountainside, Blackwood. We have satellite locations everywhere. VA will pay housing allowance based on where the majority of your credits are. And this became a huge thing that we had to figure out a couple of years ago. So say you're a business school student, you have 9 credits in Newark, 3 credits in New Brunswick, you're getting Newark housing allowance. Because our COLA, if you guys remember, our COLA is higher up here in North Jersey. New Brunswick, lower COLA. Camden, lower COLA. If you have, 3 credits in Newark, and then you got 9 credits in Camden, you're going to get the lower housing. So just keep that in mind if your program involves taking classes at different physical locations. Doesn't matter if you're a Newark student or Brunswick student, it's where you're physically taking those.
and also the rating that you have on your certificate of eligibility. So let's say you have 50% and you're going full-time, you're gonna get 50% of your monthly housing allowance. So that also, you have to take that into consideration. Second, your book stipend. You receive this every semester that you're gonna attend your classes. You usually will get it either the first week or the week before. From what I've seen and myself as a student, it has always been the week of when the school officially starts. Okay?
They're not going to pay the book stipend more than 14 days before your start date. So this year we started September 1st. They weren't going to pay book stipend before August 18th. Right. So you'll get it. It caps off at $1,000 per academic year. So fall, winter, spring, summer, $1,000. $41.67 per credit. If you take 12 credits in the fall and 12 credits in the spring, that's $500 per semester. You're done with book stipend. So if you take winter, if you're an overachiever and you take like 18 credits, you're going to max out on book stipend before you get to all your spring semester.
Perfect. And then lastly, something that a lot of students don't know is that the money will help you to move if you live in a rural area and you need to come to school. The stipulation to that is you must live in a county with 6 or fewer people per square mile. So again, the VA will give you money to move in order for you to live closer to school and take your classes. Paul, do you want to touch on the tutoring side?
So through the post 9/11 GI Bill, if you're using your post 9/11 GI Bill, you can get tutoring assistance. This is not well known, and honestly, we probably should do a better job of publicizing it. But if you're using a post 9/11 GI Bill and you need to pay for tutoring, so not what you get from the Learning Center or the Writing Center or anything like that, if you have to go outside of what the school offers and hire a tutor, VA has a one-time pool of money for you to use. You're allotted $1,000 that you can use. So you go, you find an approved tutor. We can link you up with the website, show you the form. You pay for this tutor for whatever, Calc 1, whatever it may be. You spend $600 on a tutor. You fill out this form, VA reimburses you for that tutoring, and they dock you 1 month of GI Bill payments for that $1,000. Once you've exhausted $1,000, they dock you 1 month of entitlement. If you graduate and you haven't used the rest, then we dock you the 1 month. But tutoring assistance is available if what we have on campus doesn't help you improve in whatever the course. So just come see Louis or myself. We'll link you up to the website, show you the form, and then get you going from there. But it is a benefit that's tutoring assistance.
And it's, I would highly recommend it for those students who do struggle with, it's usually like your math courses or your high intense writing classes. I highly recommend hiring a tutor for that. You know, we want to see you succeed. I want to see you succeed as your program coordinator. And, you know, if I can do anything to help you guys with that, again, come through my office, Paul's office, and we'll get you situated in order to get that tutor. Okay, so for my STEM scholarship students, well,
Anybody STEM?
okay. So, Tay, what are you studying right now?
Clinical labs.
Clinical lab science
Neurobiology.
and neurobiology. So let's say you're about to exhaust your benefits. So for my STEM majors, they have what's available called the Edith North Rogers STEM Scholarship. You can get up to a 9-month extension for your post 9/11. Okay. So what are the stipulations? You must be currently enrolled in an undergraduate STEM degree program or qualifying dual degree program. So this is what we spoke about before, that dual degree program that certain schools have. You must have earned a post-secondary degree or a graduate degree in an approved STEM degree field and are enrolled in a covered clinical training program for healthcare professionals. So okay, in this case, you would qualify under that. Okay. And lastly, have earned a post-secondary degree in an approved STEM degree field and are working toward a teaching certification. So for those who want to teach, this also applies to you. Other than that, Paul, do you have anything to add to those?
So this started in 2018 when the Forever GI Bill legislation was passed. This is an awesome opportunity, and Rutgers was pretty, Rutgers played a big part in getting this through. Senator Cory Booker went to Rutgers, New Brunswick. I was there, vets from across the university were there. And one of the main things that was brought up was STEM students using post 9/11, because there's so many prerequisites, because there's so many courses that have to be taken, and if you miss one, it's not offered till next year because it's only given in the fall. GI Bill students were running out of post 9/11 and still haven't finished their STEM undergrad, let alone moved on to their next. So Senator Booker was a big proponent of this. Rutgers helped get it done as well, lobbying in DC. We now have this scholarship. So you find yourself running out, you want to continue your degree, you're not going to have enough post 9/11 GI Bill. We'll show you how to apply for it. Come to Lewis's office or my office, we help you do it. And what happens is VA gets your application. They reach out to Danny, Mylene, or myself, and they ask us to fill in the blanks on your application. They ask us to certify how many credits that the student has earned, certify the degree they're pursuing. There's a special registrar code that we have to provide. So it's definitely take advantage of it. If you're going to continue in STEM, if you want to get onto the graduate level, this is great because it can, another 9 months, that's basically another year of school. So definitely take advantage of it if you fall within the STEM categories. It's a pretty simple process, and I've only seen one student denied, and that's because they didn't have the minimum number of credits. So definitely take advantage of it.
Okay, so this is the part where we'll take any questions regarding Chapter 33 benefits. If you have any after the presentation. We're good. Does Jonathan Fisher have any questions?
Nope, not at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, awesome.
All right, okay.
Okay, Mark. Okay. Vision.
I have a question about how the GI Bill works in summer term. Since they're only a few weeks long, do you still get the same amount of time taken away as if you only did semester?
So VA charges, VA bills your GI Bill by weeks. So 16 weeks in a fall and spring semester, you get 16 weeks docked off your entitlement. When it comes to the summer session, 6-week and 12-week sessions, VA adjusts what is counted as full-time. We didn't include the chart in here, but I do have the chart in my office, my laptop. Basically, they adjust the number of credits required to be. So for the 6-week session, the 12-week session, they do it proportionately, so you need a fewer number of credits. The only one I remember off the top of my head, which we can probably do the math. For the 12-week session, 8 credits is full-time. So that means 4 credits would be full-time for the 6 weeks. If you want to get housing allowance, period, what happens is you have to be at least 50%, 50% or greater. So in a regular semester, 7 credits or more gets you housing allowance. 12-week session, 5 credits or more. 6-week session, 3 credits or more gets you. And you're only going to be docked those weeks.
So my question is, I only have 1 month and a half left on my grad bill.
Okay.
I have 1 semester left, spring 2022. Do I apply for extension or
Okay,
what's
so,
the best way to go with that?
so what's your major?
Supply chain.
Supply chain?
Yep.
Okay, so there is an option to extend. However, the approval process that I've seen, there's not too many, there's not too many, I guess, veterans who got the opportunity to have the extension, but VA does give that option, aside from the STEM scholarship. What many students do, and that I advise is, I send you guys scholarship information as well regarding veterans, specific veteran scholarship. So later after this, if you want to get me, I have your email. I'll send you all the scholarship information. That's the way students do pay for the rest of their tuition, since you only have 1 semester left, right? Yes. Okay. 1 month. And then you have no. Semester.
I have 1 semester
You have 1
left
semester left.
that's why.
Yeah.
to graduate, and then I have 1 month out of the grad bill.
Yeah, GI Bill. So sometimes the VA will work with you. Again, I'll send you all the information, or you can stop by my office, and then we can get that application process going.
For the application for next semester, did I apply through you guys as the month of the year before, or did I have to go somewhere else?
For the extension, or?
No, like, use the GI bill.
Yeah, it's through us. So,
So what we forgot to mention is that Vetcert has to be done every semester. So we tell you guys that the easiest way to do it is whenever you register for your next semester, immediately while you're still logged in, go over to Vetcert. As soon as you finish registering, you've met with your advisor, do your Vetcert for the next semester. Since you get priority registration, you guys will be ahead of the game. So just make sure you do that. Your case, Mario, definitely get with Louis about scholarship information. And I would hate to see you exhaust that 1 month and then you're done with GI Bill, period. You might want to look into VRE, and we can give you information on that. Because veteran readiness and employment can help you continue to pursue your educational goal and still cover it if you're eligible. So scholarships definitely, but also let's look at VRE and see, because the reason I say I don't want you to burn through your GI Bill is that VRE pays you a subsistence allowance. It's way less than your housing allowance. But if you go into VRE and you still have at least 1 day of post 9/11 left, you'll get the housing allowance as opposed to subsistence. So it's like 2,800 as opposed to like 800. So before you use that 1 month that you have left, let's talk about VRE for the spring semester, just so you don't, because with that 1 month left, it's not, you're only gonna get 1 month of housing allowance, you're only gonna be part of your tuition and fees. I feel bad if you didn't get to finish up your undergrad without getting a piece one.
yeah, and VRE, that's chapter 31. If you want to look more information on the VA Gov site, it's also called vocational rehab, has been better. Yeah, vocational rehab, VRE, chapter 31.
And then from my understanding, even though you're considered 15 or 16 weeks of like a semester, it can actually be less just because we have like recess days. For example, next month is Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So, or does the VA still consider that?
We don't report breaks. So some schools do report extended breaks, but we don't report spring break, we don't report Thanksgiving break. Yeah, so you guys get paid all the way through, and you get paid all the way through, which is great, but then it's also 16 full weeks that you're getting. Yeah, billed.
Okay.
Yeah, some schools do that. Like they'll say, oh, spring break was 1 week in March. It's less, but.
What if I get a grant that is not a Pell Grant? What should I do? As a technology.
So the post 9/11 GI Bill, VA in general, when paying tuition and fees, they make themselves what's called the last payer. They pay after all other awards have been applied to your term bill. So with the exception of federal Pell Grants that come from FAFSA awards. So you get a scholarship from VFW because you remember or whatever, and it's $500. Your bill is $8,000. We have to apply that scholarship because it's earmarked for tuition and fees. We apply that to your bill. You're now at $7,500. Now we report to VA $7,500. If we were to bill VA for $8,000, keep the $500 scholarship, VA comes back, you undergo a compliance audit. They look, they select you as a student to audit, and they see student received this award, that this was reported, they're gonna say, oh, why wasn't this applied to the term? That's a mistake, we get dinged. That's not the way that it's supposed to go. If that has happened, a situation might arise where a student, we have to go back and correct enrollment certifications, money's gonna end up being, which is what we don't want to happen. So if you get any kind of an award, Run to the Top, Scarlet Promise, HESA, so state grants, the TAG Awards, any other kinds of scholarships that they might get, let us know, because not everybody on campus knows, tell you guys about these rules. Financial aid doesn't always know, student accounting doesn't always know, the organizations that give the scholarships and the grants don't know. So let us know, because we don't want anybody to get in trouble and end up with back to VA or to the school. That becomes a huge mess. So if you do come into receipt of these grants, let us know. If it comes from the Department of Education, it's a federal Pell Grant, you're good. VA is going to pay your term bill, FAFSA money's coming into your pocket. If it comes from some other source that's not federal, not a Title IV fund as it's called, that's got to be applied to it. Unless it says, to be used for, something else other than tuition. If it's specifically like scholarship awarded to student for personal use, that's different. But if it comes to the school for tuition and fees, that has to.
That being said, that concludes our presentation, guys. Again, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. We're also recording this for our students who, if they weren't able to attend, they can watch this video. Obviously, your questions are a big part of this presentation, so I thank you again. Yes.
We wanted, Dan and I wanted to mention about the verifying the enrollment for post 9/11, starting on or after December 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that was mentioned. I think that's important for them to know.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I did forget about that. Danny reminded me, I forgot. So for those of you who have used the reserve GI Bill, you're familiar with the waves. At the end of every month, you go in, you verify your enrollment, you verify your attendance, and then 3 to 5 business days later, more or less, before you get paid. Nothing. Yeah. So now that's being instituted for the post 9/11 GI. Previously, you guys have never had to verify your attendance, never had to confirm that you actually went to class. That is all changing. As of right now, it's only being implemented at degree, non-credit degree school. So we're not doing this yet, but it is coming up where monthly you're gonna have to verify your attendance in order to get your housing allowance. Supposedly, it's gonna be a text message-based system. You text VA, they log you in, they check you off as present, however it works, accounted for, and then you get your housing allowance. As this rolls out, as soon as we get information, we'll push it out to you guys. Hopefully VA pushes out information to you as well, but just keep in mind that this is gonna be coming up. No getting around it. A lot of students are already complaining when the legislation passed because why should I have to do this? I'm used to just getting paid. I don't wanna have to log in every month. I don't wanna have to text a robot every month. It's already signed into law. You wanna use your Jagger, you wanna get paid again. So that's gonna be starting soon. We will keep you abreast of it as soon as we know.
All right, guys, you're good to go. Thank you guys for coming again. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for assisting me, and thank you, Mylene and Danny, for popping in and assisting us as well. We greatly appreciate it.